the makeup tutorial for our A Factor girls this year. So I'm going to start off with a concealer, or a foundation, I guess this is foundation. You don't have to do foundation, but you can. It just kind of makes their skin smooth out a little bit when you put it on. This is how I'm putting on concealer to Sophia. Stop. I need you to be good, please. And then you just take a little sponge and kind of blend it in. This helps with if your daughter has freckles or acne or any other like skin blemishes. This just kind of helps just to smooth their skin out. So before we started, I had Sophia wash her face with just a makeup remover, like skin wipe, just to make sure that everything was all clean before we started. And then once you get this all blended in, you take your whatever powder you want to use. I use a loose powder. You can use a pressed powder, whichever kind of powder that you want to use. Close your eyes. And I just put a loose powder over her skin. You can do this part last. Some people like to do their eyes first. I always did the powder first, but it's totally up to you. This is just how I taught it at the tutorial the other night. And then after you have the powder on, you're going to take the blush, and you need a color that's not like super outrageous, but a good color that will complement their skin. And put on a pretty thick layer. You can have them smile or do a fish face. And then you want to put it right on the balls of their cheeks here. And it's going to go on pretty dark. It's going to look like a lot of makeup to you when you're right up close to her face. But this is going to be stage makeup. And so when she's up on stage with all the other dancers, it will look a lot nicer. So you're going to put it on pretty thick.
Really annoying.
And you want to make sure you get it on the balls of their cheeks here. I think we might need a little darker blush. Okay, so there is your powder and your blush, and now you're ready to move to the eyes. You have your e.l.f. brand Smoky Quad. That is the required company eyeshadow. Stop. And we're going to start with the white on the top. Take that out of there. We're going to start with the white eyeshadow on the top, and that's going to go all over her lid. So you're going to take it and put it all over her lid. Because this one is going all over the lid, I'm just using just a disposable little eyeshadow brush. But for the rest of it, I will show you I have brushes that I'll use. So we're putting this on all over the lid here. And this is why some people choose to do the eyes part first, because sometimes if your makeup will flake a lot down here, it can get into like your blush and things that you've already done. So, you know, you can do it however you'd like. I usually just do the eyes after the blush and the powder. Okay, so once we have the white layer on, it's on all over. We're gonna take, I have a brush that is just a big poofy brush here. Actually, I'm going to use a little bit smaller one. I take that back. I'm going to use a little bit smaller brush, and we're going to take the second color, the first gray color. We're going to take that color, and you're going to put it on her lid. Okay? So we're just going over the lid, right about where her crease line is, down. So you want the top of her lid up here, you want to be able to see the white that you put on. So you don't want to put any of the grays on the top of the lid here. Okay? And then you're going to bring it out just a little bit to the corner of her eye. Okay? I'll do the other side. And this is just going again right along the crease here and kind of bring it out just a little bit. So you're not doing anything with the top right underneath her eyebrows. That still should stay white. Okay. Now we're going to go to our very last color. And I think this is where a lot of you got confused at the makeup tutorial thing that we did last night. We're going to go to the very dark color, the blackish color. And I'm going to use my same brush. And we're going to take this and go in and just trace a line, just one solid line across the crease. And I'm going about 3/4 of the way in, all the way across. So I'm not going all the way to the corner of her eye. And you're going to bring that out and up just a little bit. And you're going to make that pretty dark. That's going to be pretty defined on her eye. You're also going to take the same color and just trace along her lashes just a little tiny bit. Just trace the lash line and bring it out as well. That kind of connects to that little wing out there. So again, that part is gonna look pretty dark. And that should be, like, this is the very darkest color, the black color. Okay, close. We're gonna do the same thing over on this side. I got my brushes, my set of brushes at Ulta. I know Mary Kay has a really good set of brushes that Kathleen can get for you. But everybody needs to have a good set of brushes that they can use on their own daughters, because we don't want to share brushes. So then again, I'm just lining her lashes all the way across and kind of connecting that. I'm going to pull this one up just a little bit more. And so there we have the darkest color. Now I'm going to take a bigger brush, a more fluffier brush, just to kind of blend. And we're going to take that color, that third color in the palette. We're going to take that third color and we're just going to kind of fill in the very corners of her eyes over here. Okay, and that's just to kind of blend in what we've already got by the wing out here. So we're just kind of doing this in the corner of her eye, just to kind of fill it in, blend just a little bit. You can kind of blend over here a little bit if you want to. But that's really more for the outside corner of her eye. Okay, then we're gonna come over here and do the same thing. Close. Close view. Just on the corner out here. Okay. Got a little bit on her eyes here. Okay, so then there is her eyeshadow. There's the eyeshadow. Now we're gonna move on to the liner. I have a liquid liner that I use. It's just an e.l.f. cheapy liquid liner that I put on the top. You put liner on the top. This is a little bit different than I think what we did last year, but this is what Shar has asked for us to do this year. So we're gonna put liner on the top. You can use a pencil liner if you want, but it has to be a really sharp pencil so that it's a really defined line, because we're gonna kind of put some little cat wings up right at the end. So have her close your eyes. Don't move your eyes, okay? And I'm just tracing right along her lash line on the top. And then we're gonna bring just a little bit of a cat eye right out at the corner, okay? Now you need to hold her eye up, have her keep her eye closed. So that it can dry, because if she opens her eye when it's wet, it's gonna get all over the mascara or all over the eyeshadow that you just did. And that eyeliner goes all the way across. Sophia, up, 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 up. It goes all the way across her lash line with a little bit up. Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna have her keep that eye closed while I go ahead and start working on the other one. And it's gonna be the same thing on this eye. I think the liquid liner works or looks, oh, I just got all over my hand. I think it looks better if you have a steady hand and you can get it on smooth. I think the liquid liner works better. It's just like painting right along a line there. And again, we're gonna bring that up. Just a little bit of a cat eye up. And then we're gonna let that dry before she opens her eyes. Okay, very slowly you can open. Okay, and so then we have our liner for the top. Now I'm gonna take, because Sophia cannot tolerate liquid liner on the bottom of her lashes. Don't look up, honey. Now see, this is what will happen if they look up when it's not dry. So I'm gonna leave that there just for now, just because now you can see what it looks like if it is wet. But so you want to make sure that those top lashes or the liner on the top is dry before you move on. So I'm going to take a pencil for the bottom, just because again it's inevitable, we always make it messy if we use the liquid on the bottom. So I just take a pencil, and we're going to use this on the bottom corner of her lid, or of her eye down here, and we're just going to use the corner. Look up, honey. And we're going to kind of connect it to that wing out there on the corner. It doesn't need to be a real thick solid line, just more of kind of like a shadowy type thing, and that's going to connect out to that corner. And I'm only going in about no more than halfway from the bottom. So about, if you look up, Sophia, if you look up about halfway in the middle of her eye, that's about where you start it, and just drag it out to connect to that wingtip on the outside. We're going to do it on this side also. Look at me. So there you have the eyeliner on the bottom, and I don't think we did eyeliner last year, but again, this is something that Shar has asked that we do. It's a little bit different this year than we did last year. So that's the eyeshadow and the eyeliner on their eyes. And then we're moving on to mascara. You can use whatever mascara you want. There is no required mascara. Levels 3 and 4 will be using false eyelashes, and so it doesn't matter what mascara you use. The smaller girls, I use the 3D mascara just to make her eyelashes look a lot bigger. You can curl them before you start. I'm not going to curl Sophia's right now. It's always a task when we try to do that, but you can curl them before you start. And then I always have Sophia, in order for you to be in control of what you're doing, what you're putting on her eye, I always try to have her look like straight at wherever I'm at, and just usually happens to be about my boobs, but that's where I have her look. So I'm gonna have her look right there, and I'm gonna do all the work. So she's not gonna blink. I'm just gonna move my wand up and down. She's gonna try not to blink. And I'm just gonna move my mascara up and down. And you can do as many coats of this as you want, as you feel is necessary. And we do not put mascara on the bottom lashes. You only put mascara on the top. If you put mascara on the bottom lashes on stage, it tends to make them look like they have black eyes. And they have a little bit of liner on the bottom anyway, so there's no need for mascara on the bottom. Now I have the 3D mascara, so I go back through with the 3D fiber and give it another little coat, make them look nice and long. And there's our mascara. I'm gonna go back and do this side. Okay, look right here. Try not to blink. Again, we're not putting mascara on the bottom lashes, only the top.